We are here with Dr. Anthony Mattis, and we are talking about bodies and a 3-day body class that we have coming up here in Florida.
Chummy, chummy, chummy.
Yay. So excited. Super excited. So we actually have some questions for you.
Awesome.
So what do you love about doing the 3-day body class?
Gosh, oh man. Well, number one, having all these bodies laying on the tables just receiving is the space that it actually creates in the room and really for the earth too, and that city where we're at. It's just one of those things that it's hard to actually put into words, but you could actually it becomes almost palpable where you could perceive sort of like the space in people's worlds, and in that particular area that we're doing the class, it opens up, and whatever that they bought as sort of like a limitation in their life or a problem, you start to see that being moving out of their universe. That issue and problem's no longer there. And it's just awesome. And by the end of the 3 days, it's all this space gets created. There's so much joy. There's so much laughter. And at the end, there's all this, you could perceive this sense of possibility in people's universes and communion with themselves, their bodies, and the people that have taken the class. So that's really cool. And I'm just really glad that I actually get to facilitate that because it's an honor and a gift for me. So
we're super glad you're coming to facilitate too.
Yeah.
And Dr. Anthony, what have you personally noticed for you facilitating these classes and these body processes?
Well, for me, meaning me personally in my own world, well, one of the greatest things about facilitating at all and with any of the classes is it's one thing to sort of study the material and study these tools of access consciousness, but there's something in where when you facilitate the classes and when you work with people, when they have questions, when they're asking questions and you're facilitating people, it starts to open up things in my own universe. And I get these downloads, or I get these awarenesses that actually show up that I wouldn't have otherwise gotten if I was just reading the manual by myself or studying or using the tools by myself. So becomes this sort of the sense of, communion and play with me and the people taking the class. And it's like we're all acting like all the different cells in our body that job is to carry out a particular function, let's say, right? And it's the quantum entanglements of the universe. When it's me facilitating and the people asking questions and receiving the facilitation and receiving the body work, it opens up things in my world as well. So there's this gifting and receiving going on simultaneously. It's awesome. Not just with the person given the body process and the person receiving, but also me as a facilitator. And we're all sort of working together to create this amazing, I don't want to call it an outcome, but it's more consciousness, more communion, more space, and just a dissolving of the abuse and the limitations that people have struggled with for so long.
That's
it's just
awesome.
fun. Yeah.
And then, as we all leave classes and we venture out onto the planet, can you speak about what a gift and contribution that is for the earth as well?
Well, it's huge because it's when you're being the gift that you are, that contributes to the earth. I mean, we walk on this planet, right? It's we're energetic beings as well, just like the earth is an energetic being, an organism in and of itself. So there becomes this gifting and receiving simultaneously. And when you're being everything that you're being, it contributes to the earth. And when you're not, I don't want to get into all the choices that we make as human beings and stuff like that, but it's if you don't think that the earth can perceive your hurt and your struggles, I think you're sadly mistaken, because it does. And just like some of you out there can perceive the earth's struggles and the earth's pangs, if you will. So I know many people, it's their bodies develop these certain symptoms, and boom, they're aware that there's an earthquake going on in the world or a tsunami or something like that. And sure enough, they go to the news and bam, they get this information that there was an earthquake somewhere or tsunami. And you know what I mean? So when you go out there and you leave and you receive this and you start to sort of function in your capacities, in your gifts, that's a huge contribution to the earth and to the planet.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing. And like one of the questions that we had come in for you was like, what have these classes and the body processes changed for you personally? But I wanted to jump in real quick and just say too, for me, like I have been lucky enough to take body classes and actually a few of them. And it's been some time now, right? So like to be able just to talk about my experience just quickly with my body is that I've noticed like a lightness and so much more ease, right? Like, so for me, body processes, laying on a table for 3 days, like, no phones, no work necessarily, right? Just taking time to honor you and your body. That alone in this class was just completely worth it for me, right? But the effects, if that's even the correct word, the presence I have in my body since these 3-day body classes is what I personally have like just been in awe about, right? Like the movement, like you almost feel now, it's like the connection with my body has been so like amplified, like just turned up.
Yes.
And that in turn then has just created so much ease. If you can just get the idea of that. So, the one question that was for you is like, so what are these body processes and, this class done for you, like personally with your body? Yeah. And I want to hear that, but I had to jump in and be like,
of course.
Wow, for me.
I mean, that's why you guys are hosting me to come, because, because of what the experiences you've gotten out of taking the body classes yourself. And what it created for you. For me personally, like in the very, very beginning, I had this chronic cough I couldn't get rid of. And I went to the doctors and, and I was like, do I have cancer or whatever? And it was like, and then I started running the body process and it finally made it go away. But I had this chronic cough for almost a year. And so, but that's like on the simple note. On the more empowering note was the level of happiness that started to consume me was so different than anything that I've ever experienced before. And I just really started becoming happier. I started feeling this sense of empowerment. My level of confidence and self-esteem started to that's not why I did the body classes. I just wanted to learn the tools and the techniques, but it was like, the things that I got out of it were way beyond my expectations. I thought it was just going to help with certain physical symptoms, but it helped with more than that. It actually changed so many areas of my life. And then I could actually perceive so many of the limitations in my life or areas where I was like super unconscious. And the body processes have this way of bringing up those particular energies that have held you so unconscious and have limited you. And it's like all of a sudden it gives you that opportunity to look at it. Because when you're able to actually see it, finally, then you could be like, oh shit, I could actually change this now. Whereas before it was sort of like unconscious. It's like one of those things where like you try to keep handling something, but you're not getting any results. So you're like, okay, obviously this is beyond my cognitive awareness. The body processes have a way of pulling those unconscious limitations right to the forefront for you to look at, and then you have the opportunity to change it with the tools. So
my next question was going to be, what would you tell somebody for their first body class that's debating, like, gosh, am I going to take this? Am I not? But like, you just wrapped that up. So amazing. So if anybody is thinking about taking a 3-day body class and never has, just listen to that. Like that was just.
And if that sounds too esoteric, it's like, because for some people that might sound too like esoteric sounding or whatever. And it's like, let's keep it simple. I mean, your sex life will become greater. It's like these body processes help you to learn how to receive. Because that's one thing that we don't do very well here on planet Earth, and that's receiving. Because we were all brought up with the mantra that it's better to give than it is to receive. And so this is like for 3 days, you are gifting as well, but you're receiving too. You're experiencing kind, nurturing touch. And as the energetic processes run, that actually consumes and fills up all the cells in your body in such a way that it's sort of like, I don't know, it's just kind and nurturing and expansive. And it's like, wow, and the level of receiving that occurs and takes place is beyond words. And what would that create in your life? Right? Like, I want to receive more money. I want to receive a better relationship. Well, these processes actually help to create the space for that to show up for you.
And thank you for adding all those things in. Absolutely. And we hope to see all of you. How many of you would love to come to this class and play with us and be with Dr. Anthony for 3 days and my co-host Becky Vaness, and we would love to have you in beautiful St. Augustine, Florida.
Yeah, and there's no stone left unturned in this class. So, so we go over lots of different things, and it's a lot of fun.
Yes, thank you. What a great invitation that you be. So I'm super grateful. I'm super grateful to be a part of this, and thank you for this conversation.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Oh, when's the class? March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, right?
February 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Oh, shit. Different class. Sorry.
Scratch that.
I'm glad Oops. Delete. We'll edit that part.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll be in Italy for that one. So thank you. February 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Awesome. How does it get better?
In St. Augustine.
In St. Augustine, Florida.
Yes, yes.
On the beach. Whee!
Yes. All right, ladies. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.